Okay, so you know all those weird, funny, sometimes, let's be honest, annoying things your dog does. Well, have you ever stopped to think about what's really going on in their head? What if I told you it's not random at all? It's actually a super sophisticated language, one we've been completely misreading.
Yeah, really think about it. That frantic digging in the couch or that super intense stare they give you. What if that wasn't just them being a dog? What if it was a specific, maybe even an urgent message they're desperate for you to understand?
And that's really the heart of what we're going to unpack today. We see something that bugs us, right? An annoyance. But for your dog, that same action often comes from this deep, ancient instinct to protect you, to provide for you, to connect with you. It's a total shift in how you see them.
All right, so let's get into it. It's time to decode these hidden messages. We're going to go way beyond just the barks and tail wags and really try to get inside their heads to figure out what's actually driving them. But first things first, before we can start reading the complicated stuff, we've got to learn the alphabet, right? And for dogs, that alphabet is their body language. It's the absolute foundation for how they tell us and other dogs what they're feeling right here, right now. So let's just quickly run through the basics here. A wagging tail? Seems simple, right? Happy dog. But it's not always pure joy. The speed and height of that wag tell a whole different story. What about the ears? If you see them pulled way back and their body is all tense, that's a huge sign of fear or anxiety. And all that barking? Yeah, it could be an alert, but just as often, it's them screaming, "I'm so bored." And don't forget the little things, like yawning or licking their lips a lot. That's usually a dog trying to calm itself down, a big clue that they're feeling stressed out.
Okay, now here's where it gets really fascinating. A lot of these behaviors, they're not learned. They're totally hardwired. These are basically genetic echoes from their wolf ancestors, playing out right there on your living room floor.
And that brings us to something called the hoarding instinct. I mean, think about it. Back in the wild, you never knew when your next meal was coming. So wolves got really good at hiding any extra food for a rainy day. And that, let's call it a prepper mentality, is still a huge part of your dog's DNA.
So when your dog stuffs a treat between the couch cushions, they're not trying to be naughty or make a mess. From their point of view, they're just building a savings account. They're securing valuable assets for the future, even if that future is only like 5 minutes away.
You know how your dog spins around in a circle a few times before they finally lie down? Well, that's not just some cute little quirk. It's actually a full-on prehistoric safety check. They're stomping down the grass, circling to scare off any snakes or bugs, and only then do they curl up, knowing the spot is secure. All right, let's talk about another one. A behavior that's pretty common and, well, let's be honest, sometimes it's kind of gross. You know, when your dog brings you a gift, like a soggy toy or something worse, what on earth is that about?
Believe it or not, it's an act of charity. It's a total pack thing. In their world, you might be a genius at opening cans of dog food, but you are a terrible hunter. They're genuinely worried you're going to starve, so they're sharing what they've caught with you. It's all about providing for their less skilled family member.
So look, understanding all this psychology is the first big step, but the next step is actually using that knowledge to build a way better relationship. And this isn't about being the alpha or dominating them, it's about building a real partnership based on trust and good communication.
So how do we do that? How do we build that trust? Well, the most important thing is being consistent. Always use a calm voice. Reward the good stuff. Seriously, positive reinforcement is like a superpower. And you just have to be patient. Yelling or hitting, that doesn't teach anything. All it does is create fear, which totally shatters that trust you're trying to build.
And a huge part of that partnership is a shared language. And that starts with a few key commands. And I'm not talking about party tricks. Sit, come, stay, and leave it are the absolute bedrock of safety. A good come can literally save their life, and a solid leave it can save you a trip to the emergency vet. Nailing these shows them you're a leader they can trust. The great news is, training doesn't have to be some big, complicated thing. It's actually a pretty simple formula. 1, say the command clearly. 2, show them what you mean. And 3, the second they do it, you reward them. Bam! That instant reward is what makes it click in their brain. Okay, so now that we have the tools to communicate better, we can get to the final, and I think, the most profound part of all of this. Because the behaviors we get wrong the most often, they aren't just simple messages. They are these incredibly deep acts of protection.
Let's go back to that long, deep stare. We think they're begging for food, right? But it's so much more than that. It's actually a biological hack for bonding. When you lock eyes with your dog, both of your brains get a flood of oxytocin. That's the love hormone. It's the same chemical that bonds a mom to her new baby. It literally lowers your blood pressure and their heart rate. It's incredible.
So a deep stare isn't rude. It's a chemical hug. The next time they lock eyes with you, try to hold it for a second. They're not being weird. They're basically giving you this powerful, silent, I love you that's good for both of you.
But that brings us to what might be the single most misunderstood behavior of them all. You know that moment your dog just suddenly climbs on top of you or presses their whole body against you and refuses to get off.
What do? We get annoyed, right? We push him away, thinking, you're being so needy right now. But what if they're acting like a human shield? Their sense of smell is so insanely powerful that they can detect tiny cellular changes that might signal cancer. They can smell an impending seizure or a dangerous shift in your blood sugar. They can even smell your stress hormones rising before you even know you're about to have a panic attack. They are literally trying to alert you to an invisible danger.
So please, don't just push them away. They might be trying to save your life. The next time your dog does something you don't understand, just pause. Ask yourself, what message am I missing? Because learning to listen, truly listen, it won't just deepen your bond. It might one day be the most important thing you ever do.